Shalom, shalom b'roma, v'ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. Shalom b'roma, v'ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru lay 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 lay. Lay 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 lay. Lay 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 lay. Lay lay lay. Shirul Adonai, Shirul Adonai, Shirul Shirul Adonai, Shirul Adonai, Shirul Adonai, Shirul Adonai, Shirul Shirul Adonai, Shirul Adonai, Shirul Adonai. Shirul Adonai, Shirul Adonai, Shirul Adonai, Shirul Adonai, Shirul Adonai, Shirul Adonai, Lai 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 Lai.
All together, as quietly as we can, when we sing. When we sing, when we sing, when we sing, we pray twice. When we sing,
when we sing,
When we sing, we are
לכו נרנה, 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 לאדוני נריע נריע לצוישנו, לאדוני נריע נריע לצוישנו. לכו נרנה, 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 לאדוני נריע נריע לצוישנו, לאדוני נריע נריע לצוישנו. שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני שיר, כי נעמה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה 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 מה טוב,
הנה מה טוב,
הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה 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 מה טוב. שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני שיר. לכו נרנה, 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 לאדוני נריע נריע לצוישנו, לאדוני נריע נריע לצוישנו. שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני הנה הנה מה טוב. שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני שיר חדש. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Well, it's good to be back, although I have to say, and people have said, I bet you're happy to be back safely. It's always hard to leave Israel. It's so wonderful to be there, and this trip was no different. So while I am glad to be back with you, there is something pretty special about bringing in Shabbat in Jerusalem, which is where I was last Shabbat. And you know, tourism might be down in Israel right now for understandable reasons, but we were at the Shuk, the Machane Yehuda, the central market, before Shabbat on Friday, and then at the Western Wall at the Kotel, and it was packed. More crowded than I can ever remember. So there is hustle and there's bustle, and there is what I call our Jewish superpower. There is a lot of joy to be found amidst the devastation and the strife and the challenge in Israel, there is still a lot of joy, and we saw that last Shabbat at the Kotel. Lots of singing, lots of dancing, and it just was good for the soul. So it is also good for the soul to be back here with all of you. And let's share some other celebrations. I think, first of all, Simcha, we want to welcome, we're so happy to have Michael Oakes with us in the sanctuary this evening. Michael, when did you arrive?
Wednesday.
All right. So I'm on the tail end of the jet lag.
I'm right there in the middle of the job.
Okay, but we're both here awake right now, which is a good thing.
So
I mean, I hope we make it. We'll maybe make it till 7. We'll see.
Your time difference was 8 hours?
Yeah.
Okay, you beat me there.
Okay.
It's 7 hours.
All right. That's about the same. Other celebrations, good things to share. We're getting pointing to. Anne and Martin had their 59th wedding anniversary this week. Good job, Anne. Oh, Martin, you too.
She got married when she was 16.
Oh, now she's 18. She looks great. Charlene.
Yes, I had two nights and 3 days with my daughter who turned 41 yesterday.
Oh.
We went and stayed in a cabin and did all the things you do with cabins and cuddle and laugh.
So because Rabbi Flip is watching via live stream and he will give me my constructive feedback when I get home, Rabbi Flip, Charlene said she spent 2 nights and 3 days with her daughter who turned 41. He likes me to repeat. Okay. Shabbat Shalom. Okay. Other simchas. Yes, Vera.
Yesterday was Leon's birthday.
Oh, where is he?
He's on his way to Florida.
Okay, happy birthday, Leon. I'm glad we'll celebrate on his behalf. All right, anything else? Pam.
11 months after breaking my ankle, I was able to finally make it to the gym.
Oh, going to the gym. All right, for some that would not be exciting, but I'm glad it is for you.
It is wonderful. It felt very normal.
I bet it did. You are making progress. I like it. Nice. Any other simchas to share before we move on? Well, I think it's clear that, I guess it's not really winter is here, fall is here, but it's cold outside, which I love. It's great for running. Jay, right? Okay. Aaron, nice Jewish runners. And Thanksgiving is next week, or I guess this week coming up, and Hanukkah's next month. And as we move into the darkest part of winter, we light candles. We'll light our Shabbat candles in just a moment. And eventually, next month, we'll light the candles of the Hanukkah. And some might think that our proclivity for lighting candles as Jews is about optimism, but it's not at all. It's actually about hope. And Rabbi Jonathan Sachs reminds us that optimism is the belief that things will get better. But hope is the faith that together we can make things better. And I was reminded this past week that the Jewish people have long since lost the easy optimism that assumes the world is just constantly improving on its own. We have seen too much and with saddened eyes to understand how tragic the world can be. But we have never lost hope, not through all of it. And the candles of Shabbat and next month of our Hanukkah are a reminder that the darkness need not prevail, and that without hope we would again and again have disappeared into the black hole of history. But Jews could never suppress the certainty that God wished us to survive, that there was more to learn from the world, and that there was more to teach it. And so, not on Shabbat so much, but at Hanukkah, the rabbis instruct us to place our Hanukkahs in the window because we're supposed to publicize the miracle. And it's our way of reminding all who see it that hope is a transmissible commodity. We can catch it from one another. And as the sun sets and darkness covers the earth, we relish the light from our candles because the continued existence of the Jewish people is in fact a triumph of hope. So I'm going to ask the youngest Dubin if she'll come forward at this time and light our Shabbat candles.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
All right. Lachado D, let's get this Shabbat party going.
Ready, Jess?
Lecha dodi nikra kala Pnei Shabbat Mekabela Lecha dodi nikra kala Pnei Shabbat Mekabela Lecha dodi
Shamu v'zachor b'dibor echad, hishmiyanu el ha'meichad. Adonai echad, v'shemo echad, v'shem tiferet v'letilah.
Lecha dodi nikra kala Pnei Shabbat Mekabela Lecha dodi nikra kala Pnei Shabbat Mekabela Lecha dodi Likrat Shabbat Lechu v'necha Ki hi mekor ha'beracha Meirosh mekedem Nesucha Sof ma'aseh b'machshavati la la la. Try it. Lecha dodi Likra kala Pnei Shabbat Mekabela Lecha dodi Likra kala Pnei Shabbat Mekabela Lecha dodi Hitoreri Ki ba'oret kumiori Uri Shidaberi Kevod hayai nigla Lecha dodi Krakala Pnei Shabbat Mekabela Lecha dodi Likra kala Pnei Shabbat Mekabela Lecha dodi Boi v'shalom Ateret ba'ala Gam b'simcha ובצולה תוכם מונה עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת מקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת מקבלה לך דודי מתחיל. ערכו את אדוני המבורך, ברוך אדוני המבורך, לעולם לעולם ועד. המבורך המבורך לעולם ועד.
Every Shabbat, we invoke the exodus from the narrow space of bondage, and we honor the shift to freedom kept from us for so long. Do we have ancestral memory of calling out from that prison? And if so, do we also have ancestral memory of God's answer from the very wide expanse? We are there again now in the narrow space, and we hope and wait for God's answer.
Haven't done this one in a long time, but if you remember, let's sing it together. Shema Yisrael,
Shema Yisrael,
Shema Yisrael,
Shema Yisrael,
Adonai Eloheinu,
Adonai Eloheinu,
Adonai Eloheinu,
Adonai Eloheinu,
Adonai Echad,
Adonai Echad,
Adonai Echad,
Adonai Echad,
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 Echad.
Shema, 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 Shema,
Shema, Shema, Shema, Shema,
Shema, Shema, Shema, Shema,
Shema, Shema, Shema, Shema,
Adonai,
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 Echad,
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 Echad.
In the photo of your family standing with the other families, I see the 6 of you reluctantly forever bound. Forever a sign upon our hand and heart, forever inscribed on the doorposts of our home and on our gates. We will teach this to our children. You will be forever in our speech, when we lie down and when we rise up.
When Lisa was here, I didn't have to bring the mic down, Josh. Gotta get used to that. Last month, when I played this song for Flip, before services, he said, let's do that for Via Hafta. So we'll try it again. It's been a long couple of weeks. Hey now, are you wondering if the sun will shine again? Are you wondering when the storm will ever end? When the cards are stacked against you, I'm willing to bet you you're not giving up, 'cause I'm not gonna let you. Could it really be so simple if we just hold on a little longer? We'll make it through, I'm sure. When your heart feels like it's closing, just throw your arms wide open and love, 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 love more. Love, love, love some more. Hey now, have you been up all night 'cause you can't fall asleep? With all the burdens and the worries that you keep. Well, I'm so glad I met you, 'cause I kinda think I get you. And we're not, no, the words are going to be up there. When the cards are stacked against you, I'm willing to bet you you're not giving in, 'cause we're in this together. Could it really be so simple if we just hold on a little longer? We'll make it through, I'm sure. But when your heart feels like it's closing, just throw your arms wide open and love, 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 love more. Love, love, love. Could it really be so simple if we just hold on a little longer? We'll make it through, I'm sure. But when your heart feels like it's closing, just throw your arms wide open and love, 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 love more. Love, love, love some more.
On Thanksgiving, we are grateful for what we have and mindful of what others do not. And it's a good time for us to ask, what is it that we really believe? Some people believe in a God who grants good to the one who prays most or behaves best. Such people might wish to read the book of Job or just look out the window, and they will discover that ease and anguish are unevenly distributed in this world and follow no discernible pattern of reward. Others think that God is completely absent or arbitrary. Such people might be mindful of the abundance of blessing that exists and how much we human beings are responsible for its poor distribution or unfair allotment. And then there are those who find themselves in the third camp, the bewildered believers. They are like Rabbi Nachman, who said he was a moon man, that his faith waxed and waned. Surely Rabbi Nachman would have understood the great Spanish saying that those who believe that they believe in God, but with passion in their hearts, without anguish in mind, without uncertainty, without doubt, without an element of despair, even in their consolation, believe only in the God idea, but not in God, him or herself. So on this Thanksgiving, I invite us to think about what is it that we believe? Whether it be God, whether it be hope, whether it be our role in how things play out. What is it that we're thankful for? What is it that we believe?
Kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, o sefer. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, O sefer.
And the river is wide,
And the river is wide,
and the river is deep,
and the river is deep,
and the river is standing between you and me, and
freedom. But we shall overcome one day. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, o sefer. And the river is fear,
and the river is fear,
and the river is hate,
and the river is hate,
and the river is standing between us and the gate of freedom. But we shall overcome one day. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, o sefer.
and the river divides,
And the river divides,
and the river forgives,
and the river forgives,
and the river's wall, and the rivers are bridge to
freedom. We shall overcome one day. We shall overcome one day.
101 still in tunnels in Gaza. We continue to pray as we do every Shabbat for the redemption and the return of captives. Please join me in the words of Matir Asurim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who helps release the captives.
When the sun sets in the western sky and it's time to lay down for the night, grant us peace and wake us up to life. Hashkivenu. Won't you shelter us beneath thy wings? For we know not what tomorrow brings. Keep us safe from all our enemies. Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. But the seventh day we shall protect, day of joy and peace and holiness, time for family, a time for rest. V'shamaru, v'shamaru, v'shamaru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו
לעשות
שומרנו השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרנו
I invite you to rise for our Amidah Tefillah prayer. We'll begin together and then continue silently.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufia tehillatcha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. So leading into the week of Thanksgiving, I love this piece that Michael wrote, this Modim Anachnu Lach, our prayer closing the Amidah for gratitude. For this tiny rock spinning in space, for the stars that know to light our way, for the promise of the human race. Modim anachnu lach, for the leaves that fall in the autumn sun, to return once more when the springtime comes, for the rolling hills and rivers that run. Modim anachnu lach, Modim anachnu lach, Modim anachnu lach, Modim anachnu lach, Modim anachnu lach. And for all who stand with those in need, in the face of true adversity, for freedom and justice and dignity, and the oneness of humanity. Modim anachnu lach, 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 Modim anachnu lach.
So I want to share a few snapshots from my time in Israel last week, and I spoke in greater depth and at greater length at Women's Circle earlier this morning. I think we spent about an hour and a half, and figuring that you would like to leave here before 8:30, I'm going to take about 10-ish minutes to share a few snapshots with you, and I'm happy to stay after and speak longer, and I really could talk about it all day long. And I know many of you read the blog posts that I wrote. So I want to first start by just saying that it really felt like a homecoming for me. It felt so good to go and be there, and I felt very safe. And for anybody who's thinking that they might like to go to Israel at this moment, it's a great choice. It's not crazy, it's not stupid, it's not irresponsible, it's a wonderful thing. And it just felt good to be there, and I was surprised at how many people multiple times a day thanked me for being there. And it felt really awkward to have enlisted infantry, IDF soldiers thanking me for being there. Those of you who have been since October 7th know what I'm talking about. So what I love about Israel is that, there's so much pride in country, and it comes in all different forms. And this woman I saw walking on the beach twice, my first and second morning there, and I just thought she was such a character, with her umbrella and her Israeli flag flying off of it. And, there are many times, I mentioned already in this service, that joy is our superpower. There's so many times I laughed to myself while there about the different idiosyncrasies that one finds in the Israeli public. But of course, there was a much more serious side to our trip, and I want to share a little bit about the competing kind of tension in Israeli society that exists between those who would like there to be an end to the war for the sake of the return of hostages, and those who feel like we need to see this out to the end of the war regardless, and hopefully along the way we will be able to get our hostages back. Those are two very different forces competing with one another, and on our first morning together as a delegation, we visited the two tents located adjacent to the Supreme Court in Jerusalem, the first of the families who would like for there to be ceasefire and a hostage deal made immediately. If any of the 101 hostages still living 60 meters below the surface of the earth are alive, the desire is to bring them back, and frankly, dead or alive, to retrieve our people. And they want the government to make a deal. And I asked, probably naively and maybe ignorantly, our guide, Avi, who is a current enlisted reservist, why can't we just make a deal and then get our people back and then renege on the deal and then do what we need to do? And he said, because Israel is known in this region for keeping its word. And I thought, wow, when there's not even agreed upon rules of war, we still keep our word. It's amazing. I mean, he just said it like it was a matter of fact. Like, how could I not know that? So the polarity there of the down the block in the other tent are the families of soldiers who are supporting whatever it takes to finish this war. What does finishing this war mean? Because America likes to ask the question, what comes next? What's the end game? And Israeli strategists will tell you there's no end game until there's no more Hamas. That's the end game. We can't even think about what's next until they are no more. And the way we get rid of Hamas is we have to castrate Iran. Because on October 7th, Hamas and Hezbollah and the Houthis and any other Iranian proxy group wanted to do exactly what the Hamas militants did to Israel. It was just that it was only Hamas that did it on October 7th. Okay, so you have these competing tensions in Israeli society. But meanwhile, there are others within Israeli society who are diving in and trying to rebuild and repair the country. And we went to Kibbutz Kfar Aza, which is approximately 1 kilometer from the border of Gaza. And we could hear explosions and see plumes of smoke just down the road from us. And I think I was telling Kelly and Ira when they came in tonight, that didn't really freak us out so much, but it was when we heard the sounds that we knew we were really close. It was happening in Gaza, not in Israel, and we were standing in Israel, but nonetheless, those are not sounds we hear often here, in at least not where I live in Franklin. What's amazing is that this kibbutz, which was ravaged, its people murdered, kidnapped, tortured, homes burned to the ground, just over a year ago, that they are rebuilding. This sign in the kibbutz says, Bonim Mechadash, rebuilding from the beginning. And people are coming from all over Israel to these communities in the Gaza envelope, and they are donating their time because it gives them something to do, something productive they can do to help. They're cooking, they're constructing, they're stripping, they're rebuilding, they're painting. And Kibbutz Kfar Aza plans to be people back in their homes and fully functioning, I believe, by the summer of 2026. So that was amazing to see. But we were able to walk through homes that had not yet been cleaned or begun to be torn down or worked on. And these were some of the scenes that we saw. And this was some of the more sanitized scenes that we saw. This gentleman, I believe his name was Lior. This is his home he's standing in front of. He was visiting his girlfriend and her family in Beersheba on the morning of October 7th, but his parents were home, and they hid in their safe room for over 28 hours. And I was explaining earlier that safe rooms in Israel, people, first of all, on a kibbutz, people don't lock their doors. It's like living in a gated community. It's like summer camp. It feels like summer camp to me. But safe rooms, while they have locks, some of them don't, because you don't go in a safe room to lock the door. You go in the safe room to shield yourself from rocket fire. So some of these doors had locks, some of them they had to be barricaded, some they did so unsuccessfully, as we know. But Lior's parents survived, and they're going to rebuild this home. We left Kibbutz Kfar Aza with a sense of optimism at the rebuilding, but a real stark awareness of who our enemy is and what we're dealing with. There's a gentleman who lived before he was killed on the morning of October 7th in Kfar Aza. He lived sort of on the border perimeter of the kibbutz. And opposite his home, there is a statue, an iron statue that honors him and what he's brought back to his kibbutz community. He brought the art of paragliding to Israel. And he started a paragliding school in Netanya, north up along the coast. And as a peace exchange, would bring folks from Gaza to learn to paraglide, and then gifted them the gliders. So just sit with that for a moment. And he was killed on October 7th. Most of the people that live in the Gaza envelope are your basic Woodstock peaceniks. They believe in coexistence. They believe in the rights of Palestinians and Israelis. They believe in the promise of peace. These were the people that were murdered on October 7th. We left Kibbutz Kfar Aza and we went to the Nova Music Festival site. And when you walk into the Nova Music Festival site, you see the sign that says, "You are standing at the Nova site. Please note this area is under the threat of rockets, and the time to reach a shelter here is 15 seconds." The entire time I was in Israel, I did not have to go into a shelter, but the first night I was there, this is what the phone alert looked like. I was staying in Herzliya. Here's Herzliya. Yes, there is a siren rocket sign over Herzliya, but where I was staying with the lurches was over here just west of the highway. So we did not have to take shelter in a siren. In a shelter from a siren, but that's what it looks like on everyone's phone. So here we are at the Nova site. And this welcomes us into the site. And what we know about Nova is that it was a music festival for peace and for love. And there were many who felt that Hamas must have known about the Nova Festival and figured this was an opportune moment to wage their attack. But in fact, what we've learned is that the Nova site actually prevented terrorists from moving further into Israel, towards Beersheba, towards Tel Aviv, and exacting more damage and more terror. They really got stuck and caught up at the Nova Festival, to the demise of over 450 people who lost their lives, and others who were tortured and kidnapped. So as you walk around the Nova Festival, there are many tributes to, or individual tributes to the people who lost their lives there. And one of the mottos that comes out of the Nova site is this one, which is, "We will dance for you forever," or "We will dance again." What was very special about this trip is that our guide, Avi, as I mentioned, is an active reservist. And there are many places in the South that you can't now, as sort of a average civilian, I'm not even a civilian, a visitor, travel to because of this rebuilding process and because of its proximity to Gaza. And so Avi arranged it that we could travel with his unit the entire day on Thursday. So we went south with his unit, and his is an intelligence unit, so everybody is fluent in Arabic, and there was an Israeli who is from the Druze community. There was an Arab Israeli as part of the unit. There was a gentleman who, in his free time, when he is not doing his day job, or as an active reservist in the unit, he goes to the Sudan and he rescues Jews who are still living in the Sudan, and he brings them to Israel. This is what he does in his free time. I was thinking about how I use my free time, and not in that way. It was pretty amazing. And so we got to spend the whole day with these gentlemen and just hear their stories and see the pictures of what they encounter and what they do on their phone. And Tsahi, the commander of the unit, is a musician. And before we left the Nova Music Festival site, we gathered in the tent there, in the visitor tent, and we sang songs. Because at Nova, it's about music, and it's about repairing the heart. And so here's some of the music that we heard. Let's see if this works. Okay, so that's just a little taste of it. You know, when you walk around the Nova site, you wonder what the trees know and what the ground knows. It's like all there. We left Nova. We drove to the city of Sderot. Sderot is already thriving and coming back from what it experienced. There are several images that Israelis are said to never be able to forget after October 7th. One, many that you've seen, is of the Hamas militants driving into the main road of Sderot in that white pickup truck with the Kalashnikovs in the back of the flatbed. And the thing at Sderot is that folks from Gaza would come over into the Gaza envelope in Israel, and they would work on the kibbutzim, and they would do different jobs, and they built the police station in Sderot, so they knew it. They knew where it was, they knew how to get in, they knew how to take over. And that, in addition to killing civilians, was one of their goals, which they did successfully. One of the heart-wrenching stories from that morning in Sderot is that there was a family of 4, mom and dad and 2 young girls, and they, because it was Simchat Torah and Shabbat, were getting out for the day, out into nature, leaving the city, the big city of Sderot for the day. And as they were pulling out, and you can imagine sort of the main road into Sderot. It's like, think about Belmead Boulevard with that median. So that's what the road is. There's like, you come in, there's a median, and then there's the out. So as the white pickup truck is coming in with the Hamas militants, this family is driving out. They're literally opposite each other with the median in the middle. The siren goes off in the city because of the rockets coming over at 6:30 in the morning or so. So what does the family do? They stop their car. They get out to go to a roadside shelter. Mom and dad are killed instantly by fire, and the girls climb back into the car and lock the doors. The Hamas militants go on into the city. They do not kill the daughters. And when the Israeli police get to the car, realize that they're in there, they're knocking on the doors to let them in, and the girl says, Atem shel Yisrael? Are you with Israel? So they were rescued, and they are now with family, whom they will live with. Sderot, in the matter of less than 1 year, built this beautiful monument to honor the police officers and citizens that were killed that day. And right nearby the monument on a wall is this beautiful mural. And it's a picture of the police station with the Torah coming out, and then letters flying out from the Torah. And the symbolism is that you may destroy our buildings, you may even burn our Torah, but you will never destroy the people that we are. The souls that we are will always escape you. So it was very powerful to be back in Sderot and to see how that city is rebuilding. We ended up on Shabbat, or Friday morning before Shabbat, at Mount Herzl, where many of the prime ministers are buried, as well as soldiers who have lost their lives defending the state of Israel. And Herzl's grave is at the very top, the highest point in Mount Herzl, right? Founder of Zionism, father of Zionism. And Yad Vashem, the Holocaust Memorial, sits at the lowest point of Har Herzl, of Mount Herzl. The idea that we go from our lowest moment as a people, the Holocaust, to our highest moment as a people, the founding of the State of Israel. And I've said before here on the holidays that that was really the moment when we as a Jewish people said, we will not be victims, we will not be marched into those camps, into those ovens ever again. So Israelis are still really struggling with October 7th and that return to victimhood in a way they never anticipated and expected. And I spoke earlier today about sort of the political landscape that is so unique and complicated. And I won't talk about it here from the Bima, but I will say that on Shabbat day, and I'll end with a story, on Shabbat day we walked through the ultra-Orthodox community of Mea Sharim. And I haven't been in an ultra-Orthodox neighborhood in a lot of years. And many of us said we felt safer standing a kilometer from Gaza than we did walking through the ultra-Orthodox neighborhood on Shabbat. No joke. We actually left Mea Sharim, walked straight into East Jerusalem and through the Damascus Gate, the Arab quarter of the Old City. And our guide, Avi, with his M16, a reservist in the army, said he felt more comfortable in East Jerusalem and walking through the Damascus Gate than he felt walking through Mea Sharim on Shabbat. But what was so fascinating about walking through the ultra-Orthodox community is that they have several Palestinian flags throughout their neighborhood because they do not recognize the state as a legitimate expression of the Jewish state as supposed to be brought by the coming of the Messiah with the resurrection of the third temple. I know Lynn's looking at me like, this is crazy. They are more keen towards and sympathetic to the Palestinian cause because were there not this bastard, sinful state that exists today, we would not have this trouble with Palestinians. That was fascinating to me. Interestingly as well, and this is the one sort of like political note I'll say, nothing about American politics, but Netanyahu's coalition really hinges on the support from the ultra-Orthodox. And they are really concerned and worried about the possibility that they will lose their exemption from serving in the army, but they cannot abandon the Likud coalition because they have nowhere else to go without having to give up the other privileges or benefits they get as ultra-Orthodox Jews in that country. So I like to say that my favorite carbohydrate, and we've talked about this a lot, is chocolate rugula, because when you peel back the rugula, there are all these layers. I guess you could say the same for babka. I do like chocolate babka. But Israel is like all these layers, right? You have those who feel the war should end now, those who feel we need to keep going and push back as far as we can. You have ultra-Orthodox, you have secular Jews. They have all sorts of opinions about our election here and our politics here. I'm happy to talk about that after the service. But needless to say, I left Israel feeling optimistic that Israel will rebuild and come out of this strong, and that we need to keep cheering for her and visiting when you feel comfortable doing so. Anyway, I'm looking forward to going back this summer. So if you want to hear more about that, I'm happy to tell you. And yeah, I think we can wrap up our service. We're just going to do a spoken Mishaberach for those who are in need. If you have the name of someone you'd like to share for our prayer of healing tonight, I invite you to do so at this time. Mishaberach avotenu v'imotenu hu yivarech v'yirapeh kol hamikotenu. May the one who blessed our ancestors who came before us bless all those who are in need of healing. Im refuat hanefesh v'refuat haguf, with a healing of soul and a healing of body. Im refuat shlema, with a complete healing of wholeness. Together we say Amen. We'll invite you to please rise for Kaddish. On this Shabbat, let me say one more thing before we do. At the Diaspora Museum, there was this beautiful installation that you see up on the screen. An artist took the words of the Mourner's Kaddish and put one word on every rock, symbolizing the stones that we place on the graves of our loved ones, and he had them spread to all the different far corners of the country after October 7th, so that the entire land could be covered in the Mourner's Kaddish. And then the stones were gathered back to the Diaspora Museum, and they sit in this display, and it's so beautiful. I was so moved by it. So on this Shabbat, we honor the memories of Sarah Bleckman Silver, Bertha B. Burkon, Richard Dick Eskind, Rosalie Fix, Harvey Fremer, Fred Earl Friedman, Julius Gaines, Jack Helfgott, Hilmar Kleeman, William Corr, Elizabeth Lazar, Norman Mitchell Lipman, Charlotte Mark, Paula Malamed, William Otis, Gail Provisor Simmons, Henry Rabin, Paul Richter, Alan Hill Rogers, Sabina Rosenzweig, Abraham Schindler, Mary Spencer, James Spire, Wynette Weitzman, Louis Zimmerman, and Mary Kay Zimmerman. We continue mourning for Nancy Lee Glynn, Clinton Thomas McCormick, Ken Eisenberg, Alton Grove, Judith Mandel, Jonathan Biller, Gertrude B. Noren, Sidney Rappaport, Alan Grolman, Jeff Harwood, David Ploshnik, Alvina Pereira, Homer Middleton, Dr. Daniel Bachman, Michael Walsh, Alan Elliott Goldstein, Joyce Abramowitz Margolis, Judith Richter, Carol Isabel Korn, David Crystal, John Holmes Wolfarth, Edward Horn, Dolores Edward, Susan Duffy, Mara Schwartz, Baxter Overton, Alan Frohl, Joe Frontella, Esther Dede Denbo Lipman, Chip Alberts, Senator Joe Lieberman, Alex Morgan, Ira Weissman, Matthew Kurland, Ellen Oakes, and Claire Schwartz. If I neglected to mention the name of your loved one, please do so at this time. Thank you. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah. Be'alma divrach hirite v'yamlich malchute. B'chayachon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uv'izman kariv imru amen. Yehe shmam rabba ha'kleolam olme almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudishah barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiram be'alma v'imru amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. O say shalom b'mromav, huya say shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Zichronam livracha. May the memories of our loved ones be every day for us a blessing. Together we say, Amen. We'll make a short Kiddush.
Before we do Kiddush, I want to give a big thank you to Michael. It's always great to have you back. I hope you'll continue being here more often. And our other musicians tonight, Jeff on percussion and Emily. So thank you guys so much for sharing your music with us tonight.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei Pari Hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam.
Hotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat Shalom. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh
Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, V'yakol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, V'yakol Yisrael. Say Shalom bimroma, hu yaseh Shalom aleinu. Say Shalom bimroma, hu yaseh Shalom aleinu. Say Shalom bimroma, hu yaseh Shalom aleinu. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu. V'yakol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu. V'yakol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol ha'olam. Amen. Shabbat Shalom.